Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel for what I think is going to be a pretty special installment in my First Thoughts series. And today we're going to be talking about what I think is also a surprise announcement by Hot Toys, and that's their 6-scale Indiana Jones figure from Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which is releasing this week. And I'm calling it a surprise because I just didn't imagine that Hot Toys would actually make any figures from this movie. If you go back right after they released that pretty amazing DX05 Indy set from Raiders of the Lost Ark, which yes did have issues, but it was pretty amazing for its time. But after that release, Hot Toys did pretty much go silent with the license, right? And I think overall we didn't see many Indy products coming out. Not sure why that was, but it went untouched until Present Toys released their Raiders version just a little while ago, which seems to have been a really good release that people really liked. So going back to this, I think this announcement is a really pleasant surprise. And out of the bat, it's a day one pre-order. Indiana Jones is a character I grew up with, and I think just looking at him, you recognize who it's supposed to be. So to have another version of him in this older looking Indy, for me, it's a no-brainer. And yeah, I'm committing even without having seen the movie. And part of that is also a testament to Hot Toys and the work they've done here, because for the promo, he looks phenomenal. We have to talk Sculpt, first of all, which I think is 100% Harrison Ford. If you go back to that DX05, the Sculpt is okay. I don't think they completely captured Harrison Ford's likeness from the movie. It was decent, it was passable, serviceable, again, for its time. But to me, this one here is one of the best sculpts I think I've seen from Hot Toys in any of their promo pics. Just amazing. And even the rolling eye system. Sometimes I get concerned that it does impact the sculpts negatively. I'm happy to say that that's not the case here. So just blown away by the work. Next big thing, the jacket. Genuine leather, without a doubt a great decision by Hot Toys. It's funny, but I had actually filmed a retrospective showcase of that Raiders of the Lost Ark DX figure, which I'm going to be posting tomorrow, just to coincide with the release of the movie. And while I love that figure and what we got, one of the biggest issues I've always had with that was pleather deterioration. The jacket on mine is still intact, but the straps for his gun belt, the strap for his messenger bag, all just fell apart. So I'm really glad to have leather components here because it really eliminates those concerns. Now, as a figure, he is coming in 2 versions. I'm going to focus on the deluxe, which the main difference is basically the deluxe includes this additional environmental base that looks amazing. And if you look at the base, one of the other little subtle changes that they've made, or let's call it innovations, is a slightly different way of holding the figure down, which is a very discreet stand that just clamps onto the figure's lower leg. I think it's a pretty interesting approach, as it should still allow for some dynamic posing while hiding that stand. So I appreciate that Hot Toys is kind of thinking about the overall aesthetics here, as opposed to just giving us a crotch grabber or a waist clamp. But going back to the base, it's beautifully done, and it has that rocky outcropping and what looks like the start of a rope bridge. Now, you can display it in 2 ways. You can flip it back and forth, and I think it depends on what you want to see. One side does have the Indiana Jones name on it, so if you don't want it to look that stylized, or you just want it to look like an environment, you can always flip it, which is nice. So for me, this is the one I'm going to get, because I'm a sucker for those diorama pieces, and I think they add to a figure, especially to an Indy. It makes it feel like there's a sense of adventure there. And then you get beautiful accessories, including a large flashlight that actually lights up, although how much we're going to use that, not sure. You get his whip as well, which is also genuine leather, and looks like it has some kind of bendable wire in it to pose, which also a plus. And then you get this pack with a bunch of pieces that just really stand out, and of course you get the Dial of Destiny. So overall, I think it's really a nice looking piece and a nice looking package. And you know what, I will say it's nice to get something a little bit different instead of just another Marvel release or a Star Wars figure. And I'm saying that as a big Marvel collector, that I still appreciate being able to get a different kind of figure. So thank you, Hot Toys, for delivering a figure that I think is going to be a standout. Now, on a personal note, I hope this figure sells well and at least gets Hot Toys to consider maybe revisiting those earlier Indiana Jones films. While I love the DX05 and that Raiders of the Lost Ark version, I think that figure would definitely benefit from a 2.0. And I've always wanted a licensed Temple of Doom Indy. Sideshow did a Temple of Doom what is it, a statue that looked good, but I'd love to have one in 6 scale. And yeah, you can weather up the DX05 or the Present Toys one, but a licensed one would be great. And I think even Last Crusade, I think there's definitely potential there, and it'll depend, I think, on the interest that people have for this release. So very excited for this, very excited for the movie, although I do feel like it hasn't been, I don't see a lot of hype around it. So hopefully the movie delivers, and regardless though, this is a day one pickup for me. It's such an iconic character, and it's such an amazing looking piece. So let me know your thoughts on this one, and whether or not you're thinking about picking it up, and if you were as surprised as I was. And as always, just want to say thank you for watching, and if you are enjoying the content, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing, and we'll touch base on the next video.